Welcome back. We've got Chef Anthony and one of his soon-to-be former students, Caroline, in the studio this morning. You're graduating this year.
Yes.
Actually, you had your last day of classes yesterday.
Yeah. Yep.
That's so exciting.
Yep, I'm excited.
So since you're done with class, we decided to get you up super early to
Yeah.
share a family recipe.
Yes.
We're making Nana's apple pie.
Yeah.
Okay, so we started making the crust in our on the KOAM Morning News in our last hour, and it's been setting. If you'd like to watch again how she put that together, you can go on our website later this morning, KOAMnewsnow.com. Check that out. And what are we doing now? Getting ready to roll it out.
Yeah, so I'm just putting lots of flour down on the surface, and I kind of rolled it out into a good circle to try to keep that shape. And I'm just gonna, slowly roll it out. Gotta make sure you have plenty of flour.
Is there ever a risk of using too much flour?
It can get a little dry, but I think the more flour the better. I'd rather it not stick. And I'm just gonna pick it up because it gets a little sticky.
So you're shooting for a little bit bigger than your pan.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And while she does that, I'm going to mix up her apple pie filling. I have 4 apples, and I have our sugar. I'm just going to add it all into a bowl. And I have cornstarch, some cinnamon, and some flour to go inside to help thicken it. And I'm just going to start mixing everything together.
Okay. Fun recipe to work with your kids and stuff. You can let them take a stab at rolling that out or mixing, and good family recipe. Which you started doing this with your grandma as a child.
Yeah.
We have a picture of that. We can show that again if you guys want to pull that up. Of Nana. There we go. In the kitchen.
Yeah, and there's lots of pictures like that with us.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. So, tell me a little bit about the class you took this year with Chef Anthony.
So I started out, I honestly, I needed a class to take. I had all of my important classes, already done. And so I was like, I like cooking. And I'm going to try this out. So
You should refer to them as important classes, required classes.
Required classes,
Yes,
yes.
there you
Yours is very important too. But
Oh, well, I'm glad.
Well, it's a life skill, yeah.
yeah, no, and I was like, I like cooking, and I can learn, and it's turned out to be really fun, and I've really enjoyed it. So I'm really glad I took it. Yeah.
And I'm greasing her pan up a little bit. I like to use the Baker's Joy because it has a little bit of flour in it.
Okay.
So it helps release just a little bit easier and a little bit cleaner at the end.
The cooking spray itself has flour in it?
Yes, the cooking spray itself has a little bit of flour in it.
Okay. I did not know that.
So I folded this in half. Hopefully it doesn't stick. Oops.
That's always the toughest part, is getting a good crust on there.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when you go to do this at home, I always tell everybody, if you're going to do this, pick the pie pan that it's resilient, it's durable. Try not to use an aluminum foil pan because that changes the cooking times. Don't use a glass pan because it does the same thing again. Glass pans are great if you're going to do like a cobbler or a quiche or a frittata, but a nice, thin, classic metal pie pan works the best.
So you say stay away from the glass pan?
Stay away from the glass pan. It does change the cooking times again on top of everything else.
Okay.
So if you just stick with a traditional pan, you'll be in good shape.
Okay.
So she has our crust
have to
together,
fix it a little
and
bit
while she
while
rolls
I-
out her top, I'm going to play with it a little bit and get it situated just ever so snugly in her pan.
And just know that your crust doesn't have to come out looking perfect.
No.
Like it's a homemade crust. It's made with love. Everyone has its own special uniqueness about it.
And that's exactly it. Taking the opportunity to cook with family at home, especially if you do this with your kids, that's the best thing because you're creating a memory with your kids. And I always tell my students, one of the most important things about cooking is taking that opportunity to create a memory.
Okay.
So
So you're rolling out the top now. All right.
This one is particularly sticky this time.
Well, we're dealing with a lot of humidity right now, so that's
Yes.
going to also play into affecting
Yeah.
your stickiness
is.
of your
There we
crust
go.
too. Yeah.
I'm going to pour the filling right inside into the middle.
Now, you were saying you added quite a bit of sugar to this recipe?
Yes.
Yeah,
This thing is so good.
cup and a half.
I love it. Yes.
I've been smelling this pie since yesterday when we baked the one off for later. I've been smelling it. It's taken every ounce of willpower I've had to keep from eating it. So I think I did pretty good because we have a whole pie this morning.
Yeah, we'd have a whole
It
pie.
smells so good.
This is what everyone asks for family events or anything, birthdays. That's what everybody wants.
Everybody wants
Yes.
Nana's apple pie.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I can see why. I'm excited to try it. We're going to try it after the break in our next segment. While she's finishing up the top crust, tell me a little bit about, now, we came out to the high school last week, I believe it was, and checked out your leafy green system.
Oh yes, the Dragon Farm.
Yes.
So the Dragon Farm is going to be an opportunity for students in lots of different departments. Our business launch department is going to be managing the business aspect of it. The students in the botany department are going to be working closely with us to actually do the planting and the harvesting and understanding how it grows and how to make it grow more effectively, more efficiently.
If anyone's new to this, recap what it is.
It's a container farm. It is a traditional shipping container, and it will grow about 2.5 acres worth of food in 320 square feet.
Impressive.
So we're going to serve a lot of it in my classroom. We're going to serve a lot inside the cafeteria. So the students are going to have an opportunity to have really fresh produce available to them that they wouldn't have anywhere else, expose them to some new stuff. And just even off the grow tower in my room, it has stimulated so much for the students to want to try something new and watch their food grow. I think we're in for a huge opportunity.
How many grow towers are in the big shipping container itself?
I cannot remember exactly how many towers are inside of it, but it's quite a few. There's 4 rows. Everything's controlled digitally so that we can go back and see and monitor what's going on and what's happening. And it makes life real easy for us.
Okay. And so right now you're going to be focusing on, just on like lettuce, types of
Yes.
lettuce and stuff,
We're
but
gonna do
eventually
some-
could branch off.
Yes, exactly. And the biggest thing of it is the more exposure we can get for it, the more the students can be involved with it, the more that it's going to benefit the school in the long run. Because we already have the C-Tech program from Fort Scott Community College that has a botany program and a greenhouse. They'll be able to come in and say, oh wow, this is something completely different than what we're doing, but it's so similar, so they'll be able to see what they can do. PSU has a plant-based polymers program. They can come out and they can see what we're doing and get them some exposure, even though they have their own grow facilities, but they can come in and see how we're doing and offer suggestions and opportunities to do something new.
That's exciting. Okay, so right now, Caroline, you're crimping the edges.
Yes.
And
I'm also gonna.
what's the point of putting the slits in
So the steam, so it doesn't blow up in the oven.
Yeah,
so it
so
can,
you don't
so
have,
the
like, the
steam can
giant
come out.
bubbling-
Yes,
yeah.
and then I'm also gonna put on some sugar.
there? More sugar.
Yeah,
yes.
more sugar, and this just makes it pretty, makes it a little sweeter.
Gives it that sparkle. Do you ever put any butter on it when you're
We've
baking it?
put milk.
milk?
Yes, and sometimes she also puts like pats of butter inside before you put the top layer on.
I know, I do that with my pies at home. I
Yes.
put butter in between.
Yep. Yeah, and this just makes
Okay.
it nice
That'll
and
be
pretty.
really pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
You could like cut the letters PHS in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we come back, we're gonna see the finished product.
yep, we're going to talk
Look at
about the
that.
baking times and how to get it going and the importance of the baking times, and we'll have a finished product delivered.
Looking forward to that. We'll be right back.